Most people who try this lose money in the first 90 days. And it's not because they're stupid. It's because nobody told them the boring part is the only part that matters. So here's the things they don't tell you. You can learn swing trading without quitting your job, without staring at charts all day, and without 50 grand in the bank. But there is a catch buried in there that breaks most beginners before they even start. First, let me show you what swing trading actually is, because most people get this wrong from the very first sentence. Swing trading is holding a position for days to weeks. That's it. You buy something, you wait, you sell when the price has swung in your favor. Not minutes, not years, days to weeks. Picture a timeline. On one end, you've got day traders glued to the screens in and out before lunch. On the other end, you've got investors holding for decades, riding the whole thing. Swing traders sit dead in the middle. And that middle is where the magic is for people with actual lives. Here's what you're really trying to do. You're not trying to catch the whole move. You're trying to grab a chunk out of the middle, the big fat part, not the bottom, not the top, just a clean slice from a bigger wave. If you try and catch the exact bottom and the exact top, you'll catch neither. And I'll come to why that mindset kills accounts. So right now, you might be thinking, why not just day trade? More action, faster money, right? That's wrong. And this is where it gets interesting. Day trading demands your full attention every single second. The market opens and you're locked in. You blink and you miss the move. Swing trading doesn't care if you're at work. You check your charts in the morning, maybe in the evening, and you get on with your day. That's the whole appeal. You can have a job and still do this. The pros stack up pretty nicely. Less stress than day trading, fewer trades means lower fees than scalping, and you don't need a fortune to start. Sounds perfect. So what's the catch? Here it is. You hold overnight and over weekends, which means while you're asleep, news drops. Earnings hit, a war kicks off somewhere, and then the market gaps. You wake up and your stock has jumped past your exit in the wrong direction before you could even do anything about it. That gap risk is the price you pay for not babysitting the screen. It's also a bit slower. You need patience, and patience is exactly what most beginners don't have. So keep that word in your head, patience. It's gonna come back and bite people later in this video. Now, let's talk mechanics, the stuff you actually do. You can go long, which means betting the price goes up, or you can go short and bet the price goes down. In my opinion, beginners should start long only. Full stop, end of discussion. Shorting has a nasty habit of losing you more money than you put in, because a price can rise forever, but it can only fall to zero. Get good at buying first and then earn the right to short it later. And what can you swing trade? Loads of things. Stocks, ETFs, forex, crypto, futures, pretty much everything. I'd say start with stocks or ETFs. They're slower, they're cleaner, and they won't melt in your account overnight while you're learning. Now on to position sizing. This is the bit that nobody finds sexy and everybody ignores, but it's pretty important. How much do you put on one trade? And how many trades do you run at once? For now, just hold this thought. Small. Keep it small. I'll give you the exact number, but it's probably gonna surprise you. But first, how do you actually find a trade? That's the part we really want, the setups. And this is where the dreaming usually starts. So let me bring you back down gently. Start with support and resistance, the two most important lines on any chart. Support is a floor. It's a price level where buyers keep stepping in. Resistance is a ceiling, where sellers keep showing up. Price bounces between them like a ball in a room until it doesn't. And when it stops bouncing, that's usually a signal. Now we're on to trends and pullbacks. In an uptrend, price doesn't just go straight up. It steps up, pulls back a bit, and then steps up again. And those pullbacks are where you want to buy. You're buying the dip inside a rising market, not catching a falling knife in a dying one. It's a big difference, but beginners constantly confuse the two. And then there's breakouts. Price smashes for a resistance and then runs. But it can get a bit sneaky. A lot of breakouts are fake. Price pokes through, sucks everyone in, and then collapses. So the smarter play is the breakout retest, which is where the price breaks out, comes back to kiss that old level, holds, and then goes again. That retest is the confirmation. And honestly, it's one of the cleanest setups there is and what I trade most. And now the indicators. People treat these like crystal balls, but they're definitely not. Moving averages will show you the direction of the trend. RSI tells you when something's overbought or oversold, and then MACD can show you when the momentum is shifting. Volume tells you if a move is real or just noise. But you want to use indicators to confirm, not to predict. An indicator is just a passenger, it's not the driver of the whole thing. And that's also true of candlestick patterns. A handful are worth knowing: engulfing candles, hammers, dojis at key levels. And I've got separate videos on those if you want to check those out. But there's a bit of a trap, because none of this matters yet. Because I can hand you the perfect setup, the perfect indicator, the perfect candle, and you'll still blow up your account. You want to know why? This is the part that actually matters. The part the Lambo crowd skips: risk management. Here's a number that should bother you. Most beginners lose. Not some, most. Look at the stats on trading platforms. And it's almost never because they just pick bad trades. Because they had no stops, they bet too big, and they trade too often. So let's fix all three right now. First, the stop loss. Before you enter any trade, you decide where you're wrong. That's your exit. No emotion and no hoping. You want to place it below a support if you're long, and then the moment price proves your idea wrong, you're out. A small loss, but a survivable loss that doesn't destroy your account. The second is risk to reward. Never take a trade where you're risking one to make one. The minimum you want to do is risk one to make two. In a perfect world, you want to risk one to make three. I usually stick on the 2 to 1. But why does that matter so much? Because it means you can be wrong more than half the time and still make money. Okay, so think about that. You don't always need to be right. You just need to be paid more when you're right than you lose when you're wrong. And then finally, this is a number I promised you earlier, the 1 to 2% rule. You never risk more than 1 to 2% of your account on a single trade. So if you have $1,000 account, that's $10 to $20 of risk per trade. It sounds tiny, doesn't it? Feels pathetic. Feels like you're never gonna get rich this way. And that feeling right there is exactly what blows people up, because they ignore it. They bet big to get rich quick, and one bad trade wipes out 10 good ones. Traders who survive swing trading aren't the ones who win big. They're the ones who lose small. Small difference, but remember that. Right, so you've got these setups, you've got risk rules, now you need a process, because trading without a process is just gambling, but a bit more professional. So start with entry and exit rules written down before the trade, not during. The during version is when your emotions take over, and your emotions are stupid. And then journal every trade. What you took, why, what happened. It sounds boring, like you're keeping a diary, yes, but your journal is the only honest mirror you've got. It shows you the mistakes you keep repeating. And then you want to build a watch list, a handful of names you actually understand that you scan regularly. Not 500 random tickers. You want a focused list that you know well. And then before you risk a single penny, paper trade. That means trading with fake money in real conditions, testing your one setup over and over until it's boring. And I'll tell you why this is the whole game in about 30 seconds. But let's talk practical. What do you actually need to start? Honestly, it's probably less than you think. You can start small, a few $100s to a couple of $1,000s. You want to pick a broker with low fees and a clean platform. You don't need anything fancy right now. You just need something reliable. And tax. Quick note. Profits from trading can be taxable, and the rules depend on where you live and how you trade. I'm not your accountant, but talk to a real one before this gets big. Future you will be grateful for it. Now the part that decides everything. Your own head. You can have perfect setups and perfect risk rules and still lose, because the enemy isn't the market, it's you. FOMO. You see a stock running without you, and you jump in late at the top, right before it reverses. Revenge trading. You take a loss, you get angry, you immediately throw in a bigger trade to win it all back, and you lose that too. Now you're down double and seeing red. And the big one. People cut their winners early because they're scared and let their losers run because they're hoping. And that's exactly backwards to how you want to do it. The whole game is the opposite. Cut losers fast and let your winners breathe. Remember patience from way back at the start? This is where it pays off. The boring trader who waits and sticks to the plan beats the exciting one who chases every move, every single time. So let me tie it all together for you, because everything I've said points to one truth. Swing trading is accessible. You don't need to quit your job, you don't need 50 grand, and you don't need to watch screens all day. But it is a skill, and skills take time. Most beginners lose early, not because it's a scam, but because they skip straight to the dreaming and ignore the discipline. And remember the catch I mentioned right at the start? The thing that breaks beginners before they begin is this. They want the reward before they've done the reps. They risk real money before they've even earned the right to. The setups don't make you money. The risk rules don't make you money. What makes you money is doing the boring stuff long enough that it becomes an instinct. So here's the only homework I've got for you that matters. Open a paper trading account, pick one setup and trade it until it bores you to tears before you risk a penny. And if you go to my website, dailybullrun.com, I have a free 38-page PDF on everything you need to know with trading and investing.